Coming to the topic of Pranahuti. This is the uniqueness of the system of SriRamchandra. If we look at it from a historical angle, after Bhagawan Krishna has left his master coil here, the bhakthas became so many groups and then they distributed throughout the country, and I think they tried to impose, say that they are superior, inferior, whatever it is, and the bhakti cult which was included, the Bhakti Yoga which was included by Lord Krishna in the path of yoga, has taken more dominance, and the yoga per se was not given that much of importance. And along with it, this technique of Pranahuti also has become alien to our land. The phenomena of prophets or avatars is always there. And Prophet Muhammad was the means through which you can have an entry into the ultimate, till recently. If we go into this concept of why there should be one person through whom alone everybody else shall go to God, there are various doctrines about it. But it is well accepted in spiritual life that there is always one presiding person. I am the way, that's what Christ said. And afterwards, after 500 to 600 years, Prophet comes and then says that I am the way. The reason for that is that he is the eldest brother for all of us. And he takes the responsibility of putting us through to God. This is, call it Sufism, call it Islam, call it religion, whatever. This is the accepted canon. The prophets do not come for dharma samsthapanartha. Prophets come to assist other fellow beings to reach, whereas avatar comes from dharma samsthapanartha. You should distinguish between these two aspects very, very clearly. Then you will understand. The prophet has come, and then he said that I will be of no value after 1,000 years. That is in their own words. We don't have to say that, he himself said. And that 1,000 years period is over. It's just about a few years this year that it will be over. It is over from our point of view. It does not mean that the avatar is not in existence. The avatar of Sri Krishna continues to operate. He is the guiding spirit. He is the monarch. But one of our own persons, one of our own fellow beings, takes the position of a prophet. And all grace of God passes through him. This is the one reason why people who might have been Hindus, who might have been Christians, who might have belonged to other sects also, at some stage or the other have to yield to the prophet and go to the ultimate only through him. There is no alternative to that, till recently. With the advent of the Supreme Personality of SriRamchandra, this particular role has been passed on to him. Now, what does this person do? What does the prophet do, or what does the Supreme Personality do? With reference to us, with reference to the nature, whatever they do. We are nothing to do with it. With reference to us, they direct the flow of the divine, the love or the compassion of the divine to our hearts whenever it is asked for by whomsoever it is. He need not be a person who is directly connected to him. He need not be in the system that he is advocating. Any person, anywhere in the universe, any human being has got that right to call on the divine because he is of the divine. We are all parts of the divine and we have got that inherent right to go back to God. And whenever you seek that God's help, it is diverted to you, the flow is diverted to you. This is very vaguely hinted by SriRamchandra in his Reality at Dawn. If you read it, any person who wants to know what it is, if he prays in earnestness, he will come to know what it is. The reason for that is, this has been experienced by all people. Any person in great distress, any person who is in great love, whether distress and love or just love itself, has always been able to get that inspiration from the divine. He has never lacked it, because God's love has no boundary. It is there, freely flowing. But one person channelizes that. And the person who channelizes, he is the Supreme Personality or a prophet or whatever word you use for that. It does not mean other people are not capable of doing their sadhana. They may do their sadhana, they may help other people in their sadhana, but diverting the flow of the divine grace is the exclusive privilege of one person, and that person continues to reign for about 1,000 years or so, approximately. It may be less, it may be more, but generally it's for a period of millennia they work. If you see the history, one person will always be diverting that. So, what is it that this person does? What do we mean by diversion of that grace of God? What exactly do we mean by that? Before I answer this question, or before you can answer this question for yourself, let us come back to fundamentals. We think about the divine presence in our heart. Why not somewhere else? Why not it be our head? Why not it be our nose? Why not it be something else in the space? Why should I meditate only on the divine light in the heart? Heart feels. Heart has got, when you say feeling, it means that it knows the language of God. Heart knows the language of God. Language of God is feeling. So the language of God it knows. So that, okay, that is one aspect of it. What is the other aspect of it? Every one of us is an expression of the divine. Every one of us is an expression of the divine. And no one here is either superior or inferior so far as the expression of the divine is concerned. You may be a good architect, I may be a good artist. You may be a good songster, or I may be a good sportsman. It does not matter much. But in each one of these capacities, it is the expression of the divine that is seen rather than our own expression. Our expressions are our ideas. But so far as this particular concept of expression of the divine is concerned, every one of us is an expression of the divine. And the divine resides in us. Divine resides in us from top to toe. From top to toe he resides. But if you have got to locate him, he is best located in the heart, which is the meeting point between the animate and the inanimate, between the matter and the spirit, between bad blood and good blood. That is a common point. So in this place you feel the divinity more. In one of the meditational notings some of you have given yesterday, I tried to see the beating of the heart and all that. It is not very necessary that you should feel the beating of the heart. What you should feel is the divine presence of the divine, whatever it may mean, without any adjectives. So don't try to put God into a particular format. When you say he should conform to, as somebody else has written that also, say that many forms, including one Vishnu or Narayana, was seen. when you try to put it, you are restricting divinity to that. That means you are curtailing the freedom of God to be something else than that. When you give a form, you are almost compelling that he is put into that jacket. He cannot be anything other than that. He refuses to get into any such jacket. He is not any one of these things. All that we know, he is, and something more. Atyatishta dasangula. Whatever you know, he is, plus something more. It's a very paradoxical statement in the Vedas. You will find that God is, when you try to know him, Purusha, he has covered the whole universe. Having covered the whole universe and everything that can be known, he has extended by another 10 inches. So it's a paradox. Having done everything, Atyatishta Dasangulam is a very profound concept. God refuses to fit into anything, and then he is something more. This something more, he is expressing himself itself in us, where the two opposites meet. That is the reason why we take the heart. And then we say that if you put a divine thought here, and since heart is the organ which is involved in the purification of your blood, then we take advantage of this in the purification also. This is the reason why it goes to that. Now, that is not our point anyway. Coming to this.
How can you locate the exact position of the heart? You can just imagine anywhere in the left side.
The heart is located, everybody knows, somewhere here, and it tilts towards it. It's a fact that during meditation you do not see it, nor do you see anything for that matter. Internal organs, any one of them you do not see in the beginning. We have been accustomed to seeing outside rather than seeing inside. So it takes time for you to learn to look inside. When you grow sufficiently, you definitely see even minor details of inner mechanisms, if you go into that siddhi aspect of it. But if you are going only to the concept of the divinity in your heart is, where it beats. That's the reason why Babuji has used the word where it beats. Where it beats means, instead of searching for a heart elsewhere, you know somewhere here. And you suppose that there is a divine light there. You suppose. You don't imagine. You suppose. I think the concept of supposition also should be explained to you clearly. A supposition, in those of you who know this mathematics theorems, you suppose something, and then at the end of it you prove that. That a supposition is invariably a thing that is proved. Imagination is something that is not necessarily proved. That's why the word is very clear. That is, you are almost sure that it is there, and then you suppose it, and then you prove, yes, it is there, by your experience. The supposition is a very positive idea, the positive belief. Now that, I think, we'll come back to the subject. When we talk about this presence of the divine in our heart, we are talking about the presence of the prana, the prana, capital D. And this prana is something that is creating circumstances by which the divine can exhibit fully in you according to your merits. And there are no demerits. Please note, there are no demerits in life. Everything is merit. Only when we look at it from its utility angle, the concept of demerit arises. Only when economics enters into the field of life, then something of a demerit arises. Otherwise, everything is merit. So this particular prana is what we are tackling. He is in your heart, and that means he is capable of expressing himself fully in you. That is a potentiality that you have got, that you can be divine. Whether it is Ramakrishna who said it or Ramana who said it doesn't make much difference. That we can be divine, in the sense that we have got the inherent capacity to be divine. We have a right for that divinity. Inherent right, because God is in us. You understand? Now, what is it that Pranahuti is supposed to do here? If I have a right to be Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi is my fundamental right, then what is it this Pranahuti is supposed to do? What is happening is, when this prana that is there in your heart is at work, what we have done is, we have created a world of our own, the universe of our own, ideas, imaginations, thinking, which suit our purposes. We have created a world, and we have chosen to ignore that prana which is inside, and chosen to express our own self. Instead of working for the divine, we started working for ourselves by a peculiar creation of something that is called yourself, which is non-existent. Yourself do not exist, yourself is only divine. But we created for ourselves, oneself, and then said, this is what it is. And what has it done? It has hidden the prana inside, hidden the God inside, and said, this is what I am. When somebody asks me, I say, I am Narayana, I am this person, I am that person. I don't say that I am divinity expressing myself. Divinity expressing itself through me, through this capacity. And I am here to share with you my love, my concern, my total commitment for the welfare of all. I don't say this. I say, I am so and so, I have got this quality, therefore either you should accept me or you should not accept me. Or I say that I am superior to you or inferior to you. I compare myself. I get into the field of envy, I get into the field of jealousy, and I either make you jealous or I make you envy or I myself get into state. This is what is happening. Instead, if you react to me as divinity itself, and if I were to react to you as divinity itself, there is nothing but cooperation between us. There cannot be any other problem that can arise between us. So this particular wheeling that has happened, by putting our self-creation over the divinity which is there inside, has to be taken out. And that is all sadhana about it. All our sadhana, all our yoga is meant only for this removal. Removal of our own ideas about ourselves, to the exclusion of the divinity. This particular pranahuti that comes, what it does is, it strikes a concord between your prana and the divinity, because it's the same nature. Your heart, the divinity in your heart, is of the same nature as the divinity that is there elsewhere, which is common for all of us. Elsewhere does not mean somewhere in Paramapada, that's not what I mean. Elsewhere means which is pervading throughout the universe, without any break. We have broken it. We have broken it and then said, this is Narayana, this is my boundary. Beyond this is not Narayana. No. Everywhere it is divinity. If we can come to that feeling, the problem is solved. So how to do this? By putting that influx and then connecting you to the divine, what happens is you start feeling that you are something more than yourself. Then you start understanding the limitations of your own creation and then come out of it. So this is what Babaji calls the first influx of the divine into your heart. What is Pranahuti? It is the influx of the divine grace into your heart. If this is done, and if that link is established between you and the ultimate, which is inherent, which is necessarily there with you, which you have chosen to put it under a particular wheel, if this can be done, what happens is you start growing more and more according to the ultimate, less and less according to your creation. So Pranahuti helps you in achieving your goal of oneness with the divine in every aspect of our life. And when I use these words, I am not using it from the Advaitic angle or the Vishtadvaitic angle or any one of the philosophical angles, but only from the yogi's point of view. I am so and so. At present the problem is I am so and so, I am occupying this position, I am related to them in this way and I am related to them in some other way. This is what we know. This particular creation of bonds that we have made for ourselves has to gain a meaning, if it has to gain a meaning, is possible only when we bring divinity in the picture and then say that he is also related to me that way. Many times, I always talk in terms of somebody else related to me. I do not think simultaneously that he is also related to me in his own way. I don't take the other man's point of view. Right. It always happens. Most of us, when we think, we always think from our point of view, but not from the other man's point of view. Much of it has been said in the philosophies of empathy, sympathy, etc. things, psychologies of that. I am not going to go into that. But that empathy or sympathy, etc. things is natural for you once you have got this link, because you are linked to the divine and as well as he is linked to the divine. Then what happens is the flow of consciousness is smooth, is straight. We don't strain ourselves to feel sympathetic. We don't strain ourselves. That is why you will find the people who are advanced in spiritual life automatically either weeping or laughing when another man is weeping or laughing. He can't help it. Everybody's suffering is his, everybody's happiness is his. Because he doesn't have a self which says that, no, you should not do like this. All these etiquettes he will not observe. He will go beyond. So, coming to this, Pranahuti is basically a linkage of the divine grace with the divinity which is there in our heart. Two similar things joined together, and our journey to the infinite is smooth. Our journey to the infinite is smooth. The question now is it all that simple for us to get united with the divine? Am I fit for this? Any serious person will put this question, am I fit for this? Am I entitled for this? Am I qualified for this? Do I have an arhat for this? We have been taught so much in religion, all these questions automatically come to us. Religion has said all these things. You must purify yourself and then only think in terms of God. We don't say that you should not purify. We only say whether you are pure, impure or anything other than that. You have got that inherent right to be with the divine because you are of the divine, you are divinity itself. You understand? Now, do I have that right is the question that we were posing for ourselves. You have the right, not because you are virtuous, not because you are good, not because you are a person who is living according to certain standards, but all of us are fit for this mainly because our nature is of the same type as that of divinity. The thought force which is the base of all creation is the same thought force that is there with you, and this commonality between this thought, the nature of thought, is what makes us what we call arhat. A plant is not fit for yoga. A plant is fit for bhakti. An animal, a cow, is not fit for yoga. It is fit for bhakti. We have used them in temples, tulasi leaves or bilva patra. You have been using it as a part of bhakti. Cows, oxen, camels, horses, we have used it in temples. An elephant, we are using as service to the divine. But there is no chance of yoga there. There is no yoga at all possible. Yoga is possible only when you have thought. Because divinity is of the nature of thought. The nature of soul is basic term is thought. And it is something that you have got to experience. Because of this commonality of the thought that you have got, the kingly thing in us, yoga, pranahuti is possible. Because prana is thought, pranahuti is possible. If we are not prana, no ahuti is possible. Third one. Having accepted that this thought is there, how do we say that pranahuti or the type of meditations that we are now asking is the correct one? can be something else also. Kindly note, thought we have told is of the nature of divinity, is the nature of the divinity. So when you give to your mind any idea other than divinity or unconnected to divinity, mind rebels. It is not at calm, it is not at peace. But if you give the idea of God or divinity to the mind, it becomes settled. This is one positive proof what you have to show that our mind and divinity is of the same order. Otherwise, any thought you have got, you sit in meditation, thinking about divine light in the heart, able to sit in such amount of calmness. Instead, if you have got to do something else, mind always rebels. It gets into a state of excitement. It doesn't get into a state of calmness. I am using the word excitement so that you will appreciate, even in the case of people who do japa or who do puja of the divine, though relative calmness is there, they are in an excited condition. Please notice, they are in an excited condition. Those of you who have practiced any one of these things know, if you do puja, you are in an excited condition of an emotion, overtakes you. The devotion overtakes you. If you think about one mantra, the excitement takes over. But if you just give the idea of a divine light in the heart, or just think about God and then keep quiet, your mind is at calm. Is that excited? Kindly also note, when you do japa, the disturbance outside is also heard. But this excitement is capable of suppressing that excitement. Whereas in the other case, there is no excitement here, therefore you will not be in a position to suppress that excitement until and unless you have got into a state of total samadhi, which also is an experience some of you have had. For a few seconds at least, thought becomes zero. Thought becomes zero. When the mind has got into the nature of, not a continued stillness. Continued stillness is of the nature of the dead. Momentary stillness is what we get, or equal to the death, or equal to no thought condition, is what you get during meditation only for a few seconds in the beginning, and it goes on, and you perhaps can be in a thoughtless condition for an hour or two or whatever it is. But even then, please note, the excitement of the outside will continue. But if your excitement of absorption, again I am using the word excitement of absorption, or emotion of absorption is there, you will ignore that. But if you come out of that emotion and then just have only absorption, you will still hear that. Understand? What I am trying to drive at is certain amount of certain problems that you face in meditation. During meditation you have got this problem of gripped feeling. There are certain moments when you feel gripped, that you are possessed by a particular thought. You are in that thought only, you don't come out of it. That thought may be related to your family, it may be related to your office, it may be related to your occupation, it may be related to your brother or sister or your son or whosoever it is. Still you are gripped with that feeling. Once you come out of that gripped feeling, you will feel that liberation, that feeling of detensioning. This you contrast with the gripped feeling that you have got only with the thought of God. That also is a gripped feeling you get for a few seconds or a few minutes. If you compare it, then you will see the other one is of a grosser variety, whereas this one is of a superior variety. In this sense, you will find total detensioning there, whereas here there will be no detensioning effect, but there is a smooth carry over to your normal life. These are all practical aspects which I am trying out of my experience to share with you so that you know for yourself this is what happens. Now, because of this nature of mind, to be at calm whenever divine or divine attributes are given to you as food, the pratyahara being divinity or divine food, it is at calm. When it is having something else, it is disturbed. But if you have got thoughts of God or godliness, let me add that also, thought of the master and masterliness, you have got these two. Do not think it's a disturbed meditation. You need not have no thought condition. Even if you have a condition of a thought related to the divine, you should consider yourself having an undisturbed meditation. Only thing is you are not slipped to the no thought condition. You are still maintaining the duality between you and God. You are different from God. So long as this concept is there, you will feel God and godly attributes coming to your mind. When this particular differentiation is lost, what happens is you get into a thoughtless condition. When duality is removed, that is actually, there are so many words for it. Why to go for those words? Now, this condition of a thoughtless condition arises only when you forget God himself. Please note it. Not only forget yourself, you forget yourself in favor of the divine in the beginning, and you forget God also, then you come to no thought condition. Those of you who have expressed this no thought condition, I can tell you, are people who had responded to the Pranahuti and immediately were able to go at least for a few seconds above. It is only a taste of things. Your sadhana alone will improve you. Now, having said it, let us come to the practical aspect of Pranahuti. Who does what? You sit before me, you sit at gathering is here. I am supposed to offer Pranahuti to you. Right? You are experiencing it. Yesterday I hinted this subject, whether it is pertinent or proper for a person to interfere at all. And I try to answer it by saying, so long as he has no selfishness or self-motive or importance, so long as he does not have it, there is nothing wrong about it. That is a very, very crude way of putting it for introduction to Vinay. Yesterday also I told you that most of us live in our boundary. We consider our Sarira to be ourself. We do not think anything more than us. This restriction of oneself to the body or the Sarira and thinking that it is the Atma is possible only when we are still under the grip of the body. That is, the five tattvas, the Panchabhutas are still controlling you, and therefore you are saying that I am only this. This is the anatma. We know that this body has not been of the same shape when I was born. It has changed over a period of time. It has never been the same. It has never been permanent. It is also decaying. One day it will go. In spite of this, I hold on to this as it is myself. A person who does Adhyatmika sadhana comes to understand this is something that is changing, there is something that is me who is not changing, the consciousness is not changing, and that is the Atma, and this is the Anatma. Atma Anatma Viveka is a fundamental to any person who does any sadhana. Knowing this is Anatma is one thing. To go beyond this is something else. I know that it is Anatma, it is perishable. Everybody knows it. Everybody who thinks well knows that it is something Anatma and something else is real self. But that real self again, we can say, however Anatma this may be, I will still say that it is in this cage and my Atma has to percolate or move or have its being only in this body. Normally, a person does not accept that he spills over his body and then extends elsewhere. When that happens, concern for others is a basic index which we can judge a man whether he is living in the lowest type of consciousness or has gone to a superior type of consciousness. I do not think we can mix two classes, right? I have to have separately for that. Now coming to it, anyway, in the next talk on efficacy, we will be coming to this also. A person who is established himself in the pinda or the sarira is a person who is normal, is confined to the pinda. And when he goes beyond this and thinks about others, and then when he feels and empathizes with other people's problems, other people's luck, whatever it is, elsewhere, concerned for something more than himself, more than his people, then he has moved on to the Brahmanda. A person who has to transmit has to naturally be at that level, and he cannot be at the lower level. Minimum is that. The best one would be one who does not have a consciousness at all. Just like God, a person total amanaska, a person who doesn't have any concern or anything, any attachment to anything, but is just what he is, God being what he is. A person at that stage, amanaska, which is a very, very rare phenomenon. Such a person, the transmission from such a person is of the best type, because he has no interest whatsoever. Whereas in the case of a Brahma Manaska, it is certain, still there is certain flaw in it, still it is. Minimum stage required is that, because anything less than that, if a person does Pranahuti or attempts Pranahuti, what will happen is he will be pouring out his own self onto the others, perhaps trying to show his importance over you, trying to make you a Pashu or something like that. That is what is possible, that is what is being done. And that is what is being done when you look at it from the concept of leadership, when you look at it from the concept of a political leader or a social leader or a religious leader. It is that type of transmission that comes from them. Every one of us have got an inherent capacity to transmit. Please note that, because you are prana yourself. You will be in a position to transmit yourself. You will always, some people have got a capacity to attract more, some people have got a capacity to attract less. This depends upon this basic capacity for transmission. But spiritual transmission or a pranahuti meant for the welfare of the another person's spiritual yatra is possible only by a person who is a Brahma Manaska. That is, whose mind is established in Brahm, not in the Pinda. Not in the Pinda, but in the Brahm. His mind must be established there. Then only it is possible. So, a person who is giving Pranahuti to you will be of that order. He will have to work at it. If he is less than that, what is the position? If he is less than that, what is the position in say, Ramchandraji's disciples? So far as the institute is concerned, it has ensured itself that only people who are Brahma Manaskas are given the chance of Pranahuti. In the several other disciples of Babaji are there. They have also got so many people to train. In some of their cases, they may not be Brahma Manaskas. But you need not shun them. There is no necessity for shunning them. But what is working is the grace of the Master, the grace of the ultimate, as I told you, which is very, very eager to pull all of us to a particular order of professionals. It is like this, the pity of God now is that all his children, instead of understanding the importance of the divine and then living together, have chosen to fight among themselves, forgetting him. So as the Father for all of us, it is his problem to bring all of us together. Either all of us come together or all of us are destroyed. These are the only consequences. I personally do not think about the negative things. I always think that all of us will come round and then we'll love God and we will love each other. This is a positive approach, and I think every one of us here should also develop only such positive approaches, no negative approaches. We should not have that. So, because of that love of the divine, to see that all of us come together, even people who are having their manas only in the pind, if they have got a love for the divine, love for God, developed to such an extent, it is possible they may also serve. But it would be left to you to feel for yourself whether such service is being done or not, because you yourself know whether if something is happening to you. The proof of the pudding is always in the eating of it. Nobody need tell. So we will definitely come to a conclusion, if this man is not capable of doing, we say he is not capable of doing, or at least he is not capable of serving me. To that extent we will say, and then say. So the pranahuti is possible in an effective way only when a man is in a Brahma Manas. You are not here to judge others, therefore you don't judge others. But that is what it is. You will see for yourself. How is it done? I told you yesterday, it is unlike hypnotism or mesmerism. We don't talk. We don't use our words. But thought is there. What is the thought? The thought is that this person who is striving to see the divine, or seeking unison with the divine, may he also succeed. It's the minimum thing that he should have. I use specifically the word may, because that is what comes to most of us. But may has got this difficulty of a wish. It's a wish. Pranahuti is not a wish. Pranahuti is a will. If you distinguish between the words wish and will, I don't know whether how many of you have at any point of time tried this. Will is this person who is sitting before me is developing this particular characteristic, is a will. May he develop this characteristic, is a wish. So when you sit in meditation, particularly the cleaning processes also, if you will that the dirt and disease that you have got is being washed away, it gets washed away. But if you sit in a pious attitude, then say to the divine, may your grace wash me of all these things. It is still only a wish, it will not succeed. Will succeeds, sankalpa succeeds. Master's grace is flowing through me is a positive sentence. It is cleansing me is another positive sentence. If these two you have got, you get clear. Master's grace is flowing through me. May it clean me. It doesn't help. You have not willed it. It is only at the realm of wish. This is one of the defects of bhakti cult, because we do not say that this will happen. We always say, may this happen by the grace of God. We got into that particular mold. Bhakti has diluted yoga. While it is absolutely essential that you should feel a serf before the divine. You are devoted to him all the time. It is absolute must. There is no doubt about it. But your actual process is always willing and not wishing. Similarly, the man who does pranahuti to you does not say, may the grace of master flow into him and may he be cleansed. No, he does not say that. If he says it, it will be most ineffective. He will say that now by the grace of God, this man is being blessed with the pranahuti and he is getting cleared of the following defects which he complains of. And you tell him, what is it you tell him? Sir, in spite of my trying to meditate, in spite of my sadhana, in spite of my doing everything that is in my hands to do, somehow or other I feel that the thoughts relating to such and such thing haunt me. That is your problem. putting it very, very clearly, that is the problem. Now, this person says, no, it's all right, you think about the master, everything will go. Suppose he says it, he is not giving any remedy to you. He is only sympathizing with you. He is kind to you. Please note, it is very kind to you. But he is not discharging anything. It is just like a person, who feels sorry for certain things, somebody else. He is incapable. A person who is capable, what he will do is, all right, sit down. Let us attend to this. And he will give you a thought, and he will request you, think that this is going. Think that you are getting rid of it. He will say that, and he will also will that particular defect be off from the person. And it works. Without words, he does not talk, you do not talk. You discussed earlier, but then when it works, then this particular thought works. Works because it has got a divine will supporting it. You are doing this service to the other person not out of any consideration, but as a duty that you have to discharge to your brother since you are doing it. God is so happy with it, he actually supports this particular idea, and then you are rid of it. Subject to the conditions of your karma. That is there. That aspect of it is always there. Subject to that, it will be done. In case karma is so strong that it still persists, even then the effect of it is not had to that extent. It is reduced considerably. So Pranahuti is an act of will. It is no jadoo. It is no miracle. It is an attainment, yogic attainment of a particular order. A Brahma Manaska can do this with the support of the divine grace. If any other claims are made to Pranahuti by any person, he has not understood it at all. It is a thought force of your brother for the betterment of your condition, which is not motivated by any of his selfish desires, but is strengthened by the support of the divine will. Right? If this is understood, then you understood Pranahuti. Then you can go to a person and then say, please give me a translation. I will be rid of this problem. You can see for yourself. Now, in case of translation also, while we talk also there is a translation which is going on. But it is the grossest time. When the voice is very, very high and all that, it is the grossest time. So much of force, materiality is behind it. Sound is materialism. It's matter only. It's energy. It's a matter that you hear it. It's of the vision. Behind it is just very whispering type of thing also. Sometimes we touch and do translation. Sometimes people touch and do translation. Sometimes it is absolutely without any movement of his lips, any movement of his body, he is simply translation. A translation from almost a nothingness level. It's a superior level. Why I am trying to say so much in detail about Pranahuti is Pranahuti can still happen without your being aware of it. You might have gone to a saint. As a matter of fact, they say about Lalaji Maharaj, that is the guru of my guru. People go to him with some problem. They say, this is what I have, this problem I have. He will simply say, Acha. And the man is relieved of it. What has happened? He is no jadoo. He has exercised his will within that particular 1 second for giving you the relief that you are seeking. And there the matter ended. And the other man got the relief. This can happen to you now also. There may be some people to whom you go and you will find, he seems to be doing miracles. He does not do any miracles. There are no miracles in life. Everything is highly scientific. Everything is according to certain rules. but on law. There is nothing as an adharma in the universe. When you are talking about a miracle, please note you are talking about adharma, something which does not conform to laws. Any person who says that there are miracles and therefore he is God is literally talking nonsense. Miracles are not there. You may not know the law. That's a separate subject. I do not know many laws. I really don't know how these wireless sets work. I really don't know how it works. It works. I don't have a line. I can understand a line here being put and then this passes through that. It appeals to my mind. But when you say, you talk here and then somebody else hears it somewhere else, it appears a bit odd. How is it possible? But there is a law for it. I don't know the law, but there is a law for it. Similarly, for everything that happens in the universe, there is a law. We may not know that. There is nothing like unnatural. Nature does not permit unnaturality. Everything is natural. So those people who say that there are miracles and therefore it is something that is superior and all that are only trying to tell there is a possibility as an adharma. And absolutely there is no possibility of adharma. Adharma is not possible. It is not there. It does not exist. The dharma chakra may not roll. That is a separate subject. But adharma will not roll. Adharma, there is no place for adharma. Rhythm, the cosmic order and the dharma, they are irrevocable. They are there. They will always be there. So in this case also, Pranahuti, also it is according to a particular law. The law of the prana, the law of the thought, it works. It works mainly because you love all, your inherent nature is to love. It is my inherent nature to love. Because that is the nature of God, who is in every one of us. Other natures that we have got is what we have added for ourselves. They may not agree, but love will always meet. You understand? That is the logic of Pranahuti. It is the love of God which you have got, I have got, that makes it possible for me to work with you. You are no different from me. As a brother, you are no different from me. As even a person, when you experience that your body consciousness does not restrict you, then definitely we see other people as ourselves. You are not different. You are not different. Vyavaharika satta is different, but the Paramarthika satta will always be there. That governs. Vyavaharika satta makes me feel that you are different. For all purposes, you know that you are different from me. But Paramarthika satta is a person who has put in some spiritual life will never say the other man is different from me. That is the initial sadhana that a person, the result of the sadhana that he gets. He is not. You are nobody different from me. Your sufferings, your problems, your aspirations, your inhibitions are all mine. And therefore, when Pranahuti is being done, literally, please notice another very, very subtle point, that what the person is trying to do is to clean himself. He is not cleaning you. He is cleaning himself. You are an extension of him. And there is something that is not required. Something has to be cleaned. He will clean it. Just as I will try to clean dirt in my hand, I will try to clean the dirt in your hand. I try to clean the dirt on my soul. I try to clean the dirt on your soul. That your soul is only for purpose of Vyavaharika satta, I am using that word, but when actually the work is done, it is only my soul. I am trying to clean myself. You are no different. You are me. You do not have a separate existence, I do not have a separate existence. There is only one existence. Ekam Sat. Only one existence. So Pranahuti is a very, very logical, very, very rational concept and practice which was there in our earlier days up to Krishna. And when Bhakti came, this particular thing was lost sight of, and people started telling, you be devoted to God and all that, instead of helping amongst themselves. A universe where every one of us helps each other is much more beautiful, much more according to the desires of God than all of us trying to look at God. So the ultimate purpose of sadhana is not to look at God in one corner of our house all the time, looking at Him, but looking at each other and then trying to see the beauty in all of us and then trying to say this is the great world that God has given us. So the Pranahuti makes it possible to penetrate into each other. I penetrate into you, you penetrate into me. It is not an interference. Please note, it is penetration for purposes of improvement, with the sole purpose of improvement. And here comes the what we call it, the control. Babaji Maharaj says that Pranahuti, through Pranahuti, nothing except spirituality can be done. Suppose I try to interfere with you and then try to make you either my slave or ask you to do something at my behest, etc., that type of control is not possible. He has put that particular control over it and then said this can be used only for spiritual purposes. You understand? That control he has made, and he has made it very specific on this. And I think a few people who tried on this have had to leave it. So the other man immediately knew that you were trying to do something with it. Both that aspect. How do you feel the transmission? So much we have said. How do you feel it? It is felt, yesterday and some people have written, as jerks, You sit and meditate, one or two people have written jerks. That is, something has happened, something has, some jerk they have felt in the spine or in the body somewhere. It is felt like that. It is felt as spandana, that is, something is passing through you, as waves passing through you. It is not at all felt. But at the end of the meditation, you feel calm. That is, you had something with you, you come to the feeling that you had something with you, which is gone. It leads you to that calmness. So, transgression is felt like this, or may not be felt at all, as I told you. But if it is felt, if it is not felt, you can examine your state of mind at the end of the transmission. So what has happened? This is what I can talk about Pranahuti in my own limited way. But the capacity of Pranahuti to improve your quality of your spiritual life is very, very great. The person who is attending to you, is offering the ahuti to you, is trying to see that you get a glimpse of the ultimate consciousness. You feel the glimpse of the ultimate consciousness, of a total nothingness comes. It is beyond Satchidananda. It is neither Sat nor Chit or Ananda, but something more than that. It's beyond all conceivable thoughts. And then, when he does it for you, when he gives his connection for you, and then when he puts this influx into you, what happens is the transformation automatically starts. It is just like the power that is in you getting attracted to its source. It knows its source. It wants to get back. So what will happen to you would be normal if you're practicing. You cannot resist the call to get back to the divine, to feel your source.